Your heels echoed softly through the giant lobby, each step a quiet reminder of how nervous you felt coming here unannounced. Jungkook's company building was always intimidating. High ceilings, glass walls, employees walking fast with files in their hands, everyone dressed like they belonged to a world of discipline. But today, you weren't here as a visitor. You were here as someone who simply missed her husband. All morning, you sat on your couch with the lunchbox open in front of you, thinking, should you go? Should you wait until he came home? Would he be happy to see you? Or would he be too stressed? Lately, he's been leaving before sunrise and coming home after midnight. He tried to hide his drooping shoulders and tired eyes from you, but you always noticed. You just wanted him to eat something warm and homemade for once. So here you were, stepping inside with a soft smile, hoping you were doing the right thing. You both had been married for more than 2 months now. It wasn't fully an arranged marriage. Your families already knew each other, and you and Jungkook had been casual friends. He attended your father's parties, and you attended his. Saying yes to this marriage wasn't difficult, but even after marrying him, there was so much you still didn't know. His mafia world, his company responsibilities, his stress, and lately, he felt even more distant, not cold, just tired, overworked. You didn't complain. You only felt bad watching him live like that. You knew this building well, so you didn't need anyone to guide you. But as you were halfway to the elevator, your steps froze. Someone rushed down the stairs on the right side, fast, almost running. Your eyes widened when you recognized the broad shoulders, the black suit jacket clutched in one hand, the familiar tattoos peeking from his wrist. It was Jungkook. He didn't stop. He didn't slow down. He didn't even look around. He walked straight toward the main door like something urgent was pulling him out of the building. You stood still, shocked. Why was he leaving? What if he came back late to the office? What if he returned after hours, long after your lunchbox had gone cold? Your surprise would be ruined. Just thinking about it already felt painful. Without thinking, you quickly grabbed your phone and called him. You didn't want him to disappear like this. What would you even do here without him? Without thinking twice, you pulled out your phone and dialed his number. Your eyes never left him as he pushed the glass door open. The phone rang. You watched him pause at the door, look down at the screen, and answer immediately. Jungkook. Yes, Yin. There was something in his tone. Not cold, not annoyed, just hurried. You swallowed and tried to sound normal. Yin. Jungkook, hey. You hesitated. Should you tell him you were standing inside his company? No, you still wanted to surprise him. So you swallowed that thought and pretended casually. Yin. I was thinking, you said softly, maybe I could come and meet you today, have lunch with you. Jungkook. Yes, but, he replied, I'm in a meeting right now, Yin. I'm sorry. Your brows knitted instantly, because he was standing right there, leaving the building, phone pressed to his ear, and he was telling you he was in a meeting. A lie, a clean, sharp lie. Your heart thudded. Yin, you're in a meeting. You asked again, not because you didn't hear him, but because you wanted to give him one more chance to tell the truth. He didn't take it. Jungkook. Yes, it's an important meeting, Yin. Did you need something? If it's not urgent, I'll call you right after it ends. Your fingers trembled slightly around the phone. Jungkook never lied. Not once, even when the truth was ugly. He always said it. That was the one rule he made for your marriage. And now, he was breaking it. Your mouth opened, but no words came. Something was wrong, very wrong. You didn't want to accuse him. You didn't want to sound suspicious without actually talking to him. Yin, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have called while you're inside the meeting. You must have picked up my call in front of everyone. I didn't mean to disturb you. The words felt bitter on your tongue, but you forced them out, pretending you believed him. Jungkook. No, it's fine. Don't apologize. But please don't come right now, okay? This meeting will go long. I'll try to come home early. We can talk then. Your fingers tightened around the phone. Yin. Yeah, sure. Your hand tightened around the lunchbox. You stared through the glass doors as he hurried to his car, still unaware you were just inside the lobby watching him, and he hung up. You didn't call him back. You didn't run after him. Instead, you drew in a slow breath and lowered your head. And one thing settled inside your mind like ice. Tonight, when he returns, you will not stay silent. You will get your answers. Jungkook sat on the couch, shoulders dropped, exhaustion weighing heavily on him. His body almost melted into the cushions, and his eyes kept falling shut even though he fought to keep them open. He had rushed home the second he finished his work, running on nothing but guilt and worry, because he had promised you. He didn't want you to feel suspicious. He didn't want you to think he was hiding anything. And yet, he was. And that guilt sat like a stone inside his chest. He stared at the quiet living room, the empty hallway, the untouched table. You weren't there. Jungkook's brows folded with concern as he blinked around the house, calling your name once, twice, then again, each time a little softer, a little more disappointed. Jungkook, where is she? He rubbed his face roughly, leaning back and letting his arms fall helplessly at his sides. He exhaled a laugh, but it was the tired, broken kind, the kind someone makes when they're disappointed in themselves. Jungkook, I lied to her, he muttered in a bitter laugh again, running a hand over his face. I lied to her again. His own voice made him flinch. He hated that he sounded like this, guilty, tired, and scared of losing you. He hated that hiding the truth was turning him into a man who broke promises. He had always sworn he would never lie to you. But now he was doing it again, and every time it left a wound inside him. All he wanted was you. Your arms around him, your embrace. The way your voice softened whenever you said his name. The way your fingers played with his hair every time he rested against your shoulder. He wanted to fall asleep like that, safe, held, loved. Instead, here he was, alone. His eyelids drooped, heavy and stubborn, fighting to stay open, but exhaustion washed over him like a blanket. Within a minute, his head tilted to the side, his lips parted just slightly, and sleep dragged him under. He didn't move again. 20 minutes later, the front door clicked open gently. You stepped inside, not expecting anything, not warmth, not company, not him. You went to your office to handle an emergency, thinking Jungkook wouldn't be home yet. But when your eyes lifted from removing your shoes, you stopped breathing. Jungkook was right there, on the couch, asleep, completely knocked out. His legs were awkwardly stretched out, his head resting on the edge of the cushion, his hair messier than usual. The sight made something inside you soften, melt, ache all at once. You forgot your anger. You forgot the lie. You forgot the scene in his company. You just saw him, your husband, and he looked heartbreakingly tired. For a second, guilt replaced all the questions screaming in your mind. You wanted answers, yes. You wanted to know why he was distant, why he lied. But right now, looking at him, your heart didn't want to demand anything. You quietly walked to the TV stand, plugging your dead phone into the charger without making a sound. Then, you approached him slowly, afraid a sudden movement might disturb him. You lowered yourself beside him on the couch, your knees touching his thigh. You smiled faintly. Yin, you look so tired, my love, you whispered. Your voice was soft, made of pure affection. You weren't sure if you wanted him to hear it or not. Your fingers reached up, brushing the strands of hair away from his forehead. He didn't flinch, didn't move. He remained lost in sleep. You traced your finger lightly over his cheek, his nose, his eyes. Your thumb brushed the tiny frown between his eyebrows. You could tell he had been stressed for days, maybe weeks, and your chest tightened painfully because you didn't know why. Your gaze fell to his lips, soft, slightly parted, breathing slowly. You didn't realize how much you missed kissing him until now. You leaned a little closer, your thumb brushed over his bottom lip and your heart beat louder. But then, he moved, not his body, his lips moved. A tiny mumble escaped him, soft but clear enough to stop your breath. You leaned closer, trying to understand what he was saying. And then, he spoke again, sleepy, quiet, unaware. Jungkook, Sophia, are you okay, sweetie? He whispered so quietly, yet so clearly, that it didn't even take you a full second to understand what he was murmuring in his sleep. And when the sound reached your ears, your whole body froze, your eyes widened, your breath caught, and your brows pulled together instinctively, then relaxed, then frowned again, confused and shaking. Did you really hear that? Your name never sounded like that, because the name he whispered wasn't yours. Your soft voice broke out, barely above a whisper. Yin, did I hear him right? You slowly pulled your hand away from his cheek, as though touching him had suddenly become shameful, painful. His warmth, just seconds ago comforting, now stung your skin. Your palm pressed against your chest, trying to calm your heartbeat, but it only grew faster, like it wanted to burst out. A painful throb spread through your throat. And then, it happened again, a soft, peaceful Sophia, leaving his lips, as though the name belonged somewhere gentle inside his heart. That was the moment a single tear escaped your eye, sliding hot down your cheek. You swallowed hard, your body trembling as you quietly moved away from the couch. No, Jungkook wouldn't do this. He can't. but your knees felt weak, your breath kept stuttering, and your eyes burned with the kind of sting that warned you a breakdown was seconds away. First the lie he told you in the morning, and now this? You wanted to shake him awake, demand answers, ask him whose name he was whispering with such softness. But you didn't have the strength, because the moment you opened your mouth, you knew you would cry. Is there someone else? Has there always been someone else? The questions stabbed through you, one after another, tearing at every corner of your heart. You knew Jungkook. You knew he wasn't someone who played with people's feelings, but maybe this marriage really was forced. Maybe he was trying to love you when his heart already belonged to someone else. And if that was true, you would never hold him back. You would let him go, even if it destroyed you. Your chest tightened painfully, and before you could stop yourself, a broken sob slipped out. You covered your mouth, terrified he might hear, and hurried out of the hallway. The moment you stepped away, your tears spilled freely. You ran back to your own room, your vision already blurry, your breath shaky and uneven. You knew the entire night would pass like this, crying into your pillow, trying to understand what went wrong, how everything shattered within a few seconds, and how your heart hurt so much over the man sleeping in the next room whispering another woman's name. Hours had passed since the morning had started, and the air between you and Jungkook had felt impossibly cold. That morning, the silence between you had been suffocating. He had apologized for being distant, for not responding to your efforts, but your faint smile and quiet composure had made him feel like his words were useless. Each apology had felt wasted, meaningless, and it gnawed at him, deep in his chest. He had wanted to spend the day with you, to make up for all the distance and tension, but duty had pulled him away before you could even share a moment. That alone had fueled your frustration. You followed him quietly in your car, not wanting to accuse him yet, not wanting to jump to conclusions without proof. You needed to see what he was really doing, to either calm your racing thoughts or arm yourself for the confrontation you knew would come. Your car stopped quietly on the side of the road when you saw him pull into a parking lot. Your eyes widened, heart tightening. This wasn't his office. It looked like a boarding school or some other unfamiliar building. Confusion and suspicion mingled in your chest. Yin, what the hell is he even doing here? You whispered to yourself, your gaze locked on him as he hurried inside. Your mind raced. You couldn't just wait in the car. The questions had built up too long. The worry, the doubt, the sting of his lies. They demanded answers. You stepped out of the car, your heels clicking softly on the asphalt, hands tightening into fists at your sides, eyes fixed on him. Minutes passed as you waited, your arms crossed over your chest, thoughts racing, and then finally, you saw him walking back toward the entrance. You weren't far, just across the street in your car, but close enough that when he looked up, the first thing he saw was you, and the moment his eyes lifted, his entire body froze, as if the air itself had been knocked out of him, as if he had forgotten how to speak. His mouth parted slightly, and his hand tightened around the paper he held. You started walking slowly toward him, letting him feel every second of your presence, letting him know there was no running, no hiding from what was coming. Jungkook, oh my god, what is she doing here? He muttered under his breath. The paper he held crumpled slightly in his fingers. You had cried enough, you had waited enough, now it was time for answers. Yin, what are you doing here? You demanded the moment you reached his frozen body. When you said you were leaving for the office this morning, Jungkook's lips parted, then closed, his tired eyes flicking down, guilt written all over his face in a way you had never seen before. Jungkook's voice faltered as he tried to explain. Jungkook, Yin, listen to me. You suddenly reached forward and snatched the paper from his hand. The instant it was in your grasp, his body stiffened, panic flashing across his eyes. He tried to pull it back, hide it behind him, but you were faster. For once, he wasn't in control. He had lied, and now there was no escaping your gaze. He was yours, and in front of you. He had no choice but to answer. Jungkook, Yin, please listen. He started again, but you didn't wait. You read the paper, your eyes narrowing as you absorbed the words. At the top, the name Sophia glared at you, along with details about medicine, schedules, and notes about a girl's health. Your chest tightened, your mind spinning, your fingers gripped the paper harder, your heart hammering in your chest. Yin, why are you silent? You demanded, trembling slightly with hurt and anger. Explain yourself, Jungkook. What is this? Why are you lying to me? Don't you think I don't know? You weren't in the meeting yesterday. You were somewhere else. You took a step closer, voice rising with each word, heart pounding, and now you're lying straight to my face. What are you hiding? Why are you here in a boarding school? Jungkook's eyes blinked faster, guilt flashing across his face. He swallowed hard, his chest rising and falling as he tried to find the words. Jungkook, Yin, I was here because his words broke off suddenly as a soft, innocent voice called out, making your heart skip a beat. Dad. You froze. From the entrance, a small girl, barely 3, ran toward him, her tiny legs carrying her quickly across the courtyard. Behind her, a woman, clearly a teacher, hurried to catch up. Jungkook's expression softened immediately, the tension in his shoulders easing as he bent down to greet her. Jungkook, Sophia, he whispered gently, his voice full of affection. Your mind went blank. The paper in your hand slipped to the ground as your stomach twisted into knots. Your knees felt weak, a little girl calling him Dad. Your chest ached with confusion and fear. You took a cautious step back, unable to speak, your throat burning with the need to demand answers. Yin, is she your daughter? Jungkook. The words escaped your lips before your mind could stop them, and you immediately regretted them, feeling foolish yet desperate for clarity. He looked at you, eyes wide, guilty, longing to explain, but before he could respond, the little girl clung to his legs, looking up at him with innocent pleading eyes. I'll come with you. You always leave me here. Please take me with you, she whispered softly, her small hands gripping his trousers. Jungkook's heart clenched at her innocence. He crouched slightly, brushing a hand gently through her hair. Jungkook, I'll come back, sweetie. I promise. I just need to get you some medicine, he said tenderly, careful not to break her trust. The little girl then turned her wide eyes to you, shy but curious. Is she in? She whispered. You tilted your head, confusion and shock swirling inside you. Nothing made sense. Jungkook's chest tightened as he looked at your face, full of pain, confusion, and disbelief. Jungkook, yes, she is Sophie, he whispered quickly, almost pleading. Now go back, Mrs. Han. The teacher tried to lead her away, but the little girl's eyes never left you. In a soft, innocent whisper, she said, she's way more beautiful than you told me. Jungkook's lips curved into a small, sad smile. He whispered back quietly, Jungkook, I know she is. Now go back, go back. Finally, the teacher guided her back into the school, and the little girl disappeared from sight. Jungkook stood and reached for your hand, gently trying to guide you back toward the car, but you yanked it away, anger, confusion, and hurt coiling in your chest like a storm. Yin, leave me, you said, your voice sharp despite the quiver in it. He paused, eyes searching yours, pain and desperation written across his face. Jungkook, Yin, she's not my daughter. I swear she's not. I couldn't tell her in front of you because, to her, I'm her dad, he explained, trying to bridge the distance your shock had created. Yin, since when? How? And why didn't I know about this? What's going on? He stepped closer, voice calm but pleading. Jungkook, please Yin, let's talk outside. Not here, people are around. His hand reached for yours again, this time calmer, begging for trust. After a tense moment, you reluctantly allowed him to guide you. Your mind a storm of questions, confusion, and hurt. You followed him to a nearby park, knowing that when he finally spoke, your world would change forever. You sat rigid, refusing to let him touch you in any way, even when he reached for your hands, your elbows, or tried to bridge the small distance between you. Your heart was spinning with hurt, and you refused to give him the comfort of closeness. Yet he didn't pull away. He shifted closer, his body pressing subtly against yours, his thighs brushing against yours, grounding himself there, refusing to let even an inch of space come between you. Jungkook, I'm so sorry, he whispered. I had to hide this from you, but if I hadn't, I could never have married you. Your head snapped toward him, your eyes narrowing as frustration. Yin, explain. Jungkook, explain, you demanded. With the mix of anger and heartbreak that had been building all day, he took a deep breath, his hands still hovering, unsure where to rest them without violating your space. Jungkook, she's the granddaughter of Mr. Grimm, he said, his voice catching slightly. Your eyes widened, your heart sinking, a chill running through your body. Mr. Grimm. The name hit you like a blade. He had been your father's deadliest enemy, killed only days before your marriage, and hearing his name again made your jaw drop and your stomach twist in disbelief. Jungkook, his son, Darko, was my good friend. He was killed too. She doesn't have a mother either. Yin, tell me, what could I have done in that situation? I couldn't just leave her abandoned. Not when her father was my friend, even if he wasn't my friend. What did she do to deserve being left alone? He looked at you, his eyes glistening with unshed tears, remembering every word your father had spoken, every warning, every manipulation that had trapped him in silence. Your chest ached as you saw his anguish, your hand resting unconsciously on his thigh, feeling the tremble in his body. "Jungkook, your father," he whispered. "He told me to choose between her and you. He didn't even let me talk to you about it. When my father came to yours for the marriage, everything was normal, everyone was alive, everything seemed fine. She had a family, but then everything flipped. Your father told me he'd marry you off to my brother if I tried to adopt her. I couldn't lose you, Yin. I've loved you for so long. I couldn't choose. I couldn't abandon her either." Your mind raced, and though your chest ached, you finally faced him fully, your hand pressing lightly against his thigh as you spoke. "Yin, you could have told me, Jungkook. We were about to get married. How could you hide this from me, even if my father didn't agree?" He let out a long, trembling sigh, resting his forehead gently against yours, holding your hand tightly on his thigh. "Jungkook, how Yin? How could I have known? We didn't know each other well enough. How could I possibly know that you would want to raise a child, to adopt her? What if you had refused? What if you didn't want to raise her? Your father made it very clear, adopting her would mean losing you. I was scared, Yin. Scared that if I confronted you directly, if you had refused, I would have had to choose, and she would have been left alone, abandoned." His voice cracked, his hands tightening around yours. "I couldn't let that happen. I couldn't risk it." You pressed your palm gently against his lips, refusing him to say another word. Your heart was melting, breaking into pieces and mending all at once. All this time, you had thought so wrong of him. Jungkook, so pure-hearted, so devoted, had carried this burden alone. Your chest tightened, and your fingers instinctively caressed his cheeks, brushing away the tears that streaked down his face. "Yin, I could never say no to something like this," you whispered. "She's so small. She needs a family. I'm not heartless. Jungkook, I will always support you. Always, I love you. And I'll raise her with you. I'll be her mother." At your words, his eyes fluttered closed, as if a weight had lifted off his chest, a pure relief washing over him. He wrapped you in a hug so tight your body melded into his, your hearts beating almost as one. "Jungkook, thank you. Thank you so much," he murmured. "But please, please don't let your father know, Yin. He won't let her live peacefully if he finds out." You cupped his face gently, your thumbs brushing along his cheekbones as you whispered, "Yin, leave that to me. Jungkook, he's my father. I know how to handle him. Nothing like that will happen, I promise." A silence fell over you both, broken only by the soft, choked sobs escaping from him. You held him against your chest, letting him cry freely, offering the warmth and comfort of your body as a shield from the world. "Jungkook, I'm sorry for being so distant lately," he whispered between sobs. "I'm sorry for lying, Yin. I'm sorry for everything. But she's been sick. I've been taking her to doctors, getting her checked. That's why I couldn't come home early." You bit your lip, finally understanding. That's why he had always seemed tired, always barely keeping his eyes open. His exhaustion was not mainly from work, it was from running back and forth, caring for that little girl. A lump formed in your throat as your chest swelled with admiration and love. "Yin, her name is Sophia, right?" you said softly. He lifted his head slightly, his gaze meeting yours through the tears, nodding. "Yin, you told her about me?" you asked, remembering the shy little girl, her eyes wide, her voice soft as she whispered something to Jungkook about you that had clearly made her heart linger on you. A small, genuine smile spread across his lips. "Jungkook, yes, I have," he admitted, his voice steady but warm. "She always asks about her mother, so I told her about you, that one day, she would meet you." You felt a flutter in your chest, a mixture of pride, love, and a soft ache of responsibility. You leaned into him, pressing a gentle kiss to his temple, but your heart clenched, and a sudden urge to apologize for thinking so wrong settled deep inside. "Yin, I'm sorry, Jungkook. Your voice broke, tears spilling down your cheeks, but you wiped them harshly, frustrated at yourself. "Yin, I'm sorry. I thought of you so wrong. I thought you had another woman in your life. That's why you were lying." His eyes widened, and before you could say anything more, he whispered, cutting you off. "Jungkook, I would rather die, Yin. I would rather die than have anyone else in my life if it's not you." Before you could respond, he closed the space between you, his lips crashing onto yours with a desperate intensity. Your tears mixed with his, sliding down your cheeks as the kiss deepened, hot and consuming. His hand moved to the back of your head, holding you firmly, pushing you closer as your lips moved together like magnets, unable to pull away. He kissed your lower lip while you kissed his upper. Then in an instant, you found yourself shifting, your upper meeting his lower, the kiss growing hungrier and more urgent with each passing second. When you finally broke apart, gasping for breath, neither of you moved away. Your foreheads rested together, lips still hovering near each other as your chests rose and fell. Jungkook, I'm sorry Yin, I'm putting you in a situation you probably don't want to be, and I can. You shook your head gently, cupping his face. Yin, I want to be, Jungkook. If it means knowing every part of you and being with you, I want to be with you, every step of the way. His heart skipped a beat, and a wide, radiant smile spread across his face, making your chest ache with love, relief, warmth, and absolute certainty washed over you. You had chosen the right man. He leaned in, brushing his nose against yours, whispering, Jungkook, I love you, baby. I love you so much. A small smile curved your lips as you pressed your forehead to his. Yin, I love you, Jungkook, and I trust you, always. And just like that, your lips met again, softer but no less passionate. This time, you wrapped your arms around his neck, pulling him closer as he held you against him. Every kiss, every touch, every breath between you carried love and promises. Sophia rolled over on the bed beside you, her small body refusing to leave, her pout deepening as she begged Jungkook softly. I want to stay here, your wife is so beautiful. I want to sleep looking at her, she murmured, her little voice full of sincerity. Your laughter burst from your chest, filling the room, and Sophia's eyes sparkled as she looked up at you with admiration. Yin, you really love me that much, don't you? You whispered gently, your fingers caressing her tiny back as she climbed onto your lap, pressing her head against your chest. She nodded vigorously, hugging you tightly, her warmth spreading comfort through your body. Let me sleep with you today, she said softly, snuggling closer. You smiled, resting your chin on the top of her head, your hands running soothingly through her hair and across her back. Jungkook, on the other side, watched the two of you with a quiet smile, his eyes soft as he admired the easy bond forming between you and the little girl. Jungkook, don't you want to sleep with me too? He asked, opening his arms in a playful attempt to lure her away so you could rest peacefully. Sophia shook her head, her little face determined. I only sleep with beautiful people, she declared. Jungkook's eyes widened, and his jaw dropped in mock shock, while you laughed again, the sound bright and full of warmth. Jungkook, you're too big for your age, you know that, he teased lightly, his tone filled with disbelief and affection. Sophia rolled her eyes cutely and hid her face in your chest, giggling softly. Yin, don't worry, we'll all sleep together, you whispered, hugging her close. Weeks had passed since the three of you had started living together, and you had come to understand Sophia fully. She knew about her father's disappearance and had accepted Jungkook as her own father. Even though he wasn't, she had never met her real mother because she died the day Sophia was born, and to her, you were now her mother completely. You glanced at Jungkook as he adjusted the blanket over all three of you, lying down beside you. His arms slipped gently beneath your head, while Sophia nestled between the two of you, small and warm. Yin, I love you, you mouthed to Jungkook, blowing him a soft kiss. His fingers combed through your hair, his lips lifting in a small, content smile as he whispered, Jungkook, love you more, baby, more than anything. Sophia had already drifted into sleep, her soft, even breathing mingling with the quiet rhythm of the room. Jungkook's gaze lingered on you and her, memorizing every detail, every small movement, every sign of comfort and trust. Even as your eyes grew heavy and you finally fell asleep, he stayed awake a while longer, quietly admiring the life he had built, feeling how complete it was with you as his wife and Sophia as his child. The room was filled with a serene calm, the kind that comes only when hearts are finally at ease. Your hands rested gently on Sophia's back, his arm around you both, creating a small cocoon of safety. Jungkook traced patterns lightly across your hair, his mind replaying every laugh, every smile, every moment that had led to this quiet perfection. The night settled softly around you, and for the first time in a long while, all worries, all doubts, and all fears melted away.